Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing really well. I wanted to hop on camera really quickly today and just do a really casual color and chat. I will be coloring in Johanna Basford's Lost Ocean. I have one completed page in here that I showed in last month's completed pages. It's just this little fish that I did, just a marker. And then I do have a work in progress in here as well. It's this double page spread, and as you can see, I did the house and I started on the tower. But I'll get to it one day. But I'm currently working on this page here. As you can see, I did the greenery on the bottom, and I'm working on the flowers. So this is actually a buddy color with Thunder Junkie. I will link her channel down below. She's wonderful. I find her to be really, really funny and just so, I don't know, kind and polite, and she has really cute pets. You get to see them once in a while, which is always great. Unfortunately, I don't have pets here. I can't have pets here, so you will not be seeing any animals on my page. I apologize. I wish I could have pets here, but I can't. But I wanted to get on and just talk about the movies and like the shows I've been watching and talk about the book that I've been reading. So I currently am reading one book, and I'm somebody who can only read one book at a time. I'm not very good at reading multiple books. Like, I know some people could have multiple going at the same time. One of my managers at my former job, she would have like 5 or 6 books going at the same time, which to me is just madness. I can't do that. Actually, I do have 2 books going at the moment, I guess. So I have the book that I'm going to show you in a minute, but also I'm reading a collection of Sherlock Holmes stories, but they're like short stories, and, you know, I already finished one, so I'm not in the middle of another one. But yeah, I definitely don't have the brain power or the capacity to focus on multiple books at the same time. But that's sidetracking. So, I should say I'm using Arteza pencils. These are the expert ones. I got them on a bargain on Amazon. I'm using 3 different shades. And I'm also using Lyra, still don't know how to say it, Rembrandt Splendor Blender Pencil. And I honestly don't know how well this works or if I like it at all. But I'm still working with it because I just got them, so I'm going to give it a chance. So the book that I'm reading is called Whistle in the Dark by Emma Healy. The back looks like this, in case anybody's interested. So I got mine from the library, but it looks like it's $12.99 in pounds. So I'm assuming it'll be like maybe $14.99 or something in US dollars. So I'm on page 188 out of 328. So I'm more than halfway done. And I just think my bookmark is also really cute. Oh, love it. I got it at a bookstore here. So, and there will be no spoiler alerts here. I will just talk about, you know, pretty much what you can get from the back cover. And what you can get in the first like chapter. So, and again, I don't know the ending yet. I'm I don't know, 2/3 of the way through, so I can't spoil the ending because I don't know what it is. But so Whistle in the Dark is about this 15-year-old girl. She and her mother, or her mother and she, her mother and her, her mother and she, the mother and the daughter, let's say it like that. They go on an art like camp, like a week holiday, which is an art camp, and they're in the mountains of, like, I guess England doesn't really have mountains, but they're in the nature of England somewhere. They live in London, and they're there for most of the holiday. And then on one of the days in the evening, the daughter, she goes out to the shower house because they're staying in kind of like a camp kind of situation, you know. So there's one house that has like the bathrooms and the showers. So in the evening, the girl goes out to grab her makeup bag or her shower bag, whatever, because she left it there in that shower house. And she disappears. So the mother can't find her. There's no trace of what might have happened. The daughter's phone is not on, you know, there's no tracks or anything, so she's missing. And the police obviously get involved, and there's like a search party and such. And the mother's obviously like freaking out. Anyways, 4 days later, after the girl goes missing, she turns up. A farmer in the area finds a girl on his land, and he realizes who it is because of the news, because she's been on the news as a missing child. So he contacts the authorities, and the authorities come pick her up, and she's reunited with her mother in the hospital. So the girl has no severe injuries, like scrapes and bruises. She did bump her head quite seriously, so she has to have, I think, like staples or stitches in her head or something. But there's no like brain damage, there's no broken limbs. For the most part, there's no severe injuries. However, the police are trying to find out, what happened. So they question her, and she says that she just got lost. That she went to the shower house, and then she exited, and she just took the wrong turn and ended up in the woods, and she was lost for 4 days with no food, no water, nothing. And they start questioning, was she alone? Was she with other people? And she just says she was alone, but she doesn't remember much. So the story follows the mother and, the family and this daughter, who's 15. I don't know if I mentioned that. And kind of trying to get to the bottom of the story, and also observing how her personality and her actions have changed. So for the example, the girl starts sleeping with the lights on. She refuses to be in the dark. And yes, this is on the back cover, so I'm not spoiling the story for anybody. So she starts sleeping with the lights on. She refuses to take the tube in London, so like the subway, the train, underground train, whatever you want to call it. So she refuses to take it because she wants to be able to see the sky at all times. So she's terrified of the dark all of a sudden. She doesn't want to be somewhere where you can't see the sky. And she makes comments about being underneath things. So I think the book is wonderful. Emma Healy, the author, she has a great way of getting you engaged and, just continuously flipping through the pages. Like, you don't want to stop. I'll be reading and I realize that, oh my God, it's been like 45 minutes, and I didn't realize it's been that long. So her style of writing is wonderful, and I would love to look into other books. Based on the cover of this book, it looks like she also wrote Elizabeth is Missing, which I haven't read, I haven't heard of. So the library that I go to here does have a section of books in English, but it's not the biggest, just because, it's a German library, so I don't expect them to have the biggest English selection. So I'm not sure if they will have the other book, but I will take a look, and maybe I can also see if the university library has it. But as much as I love the author and I am enjoying the story, I have to say the daughter, oh my God, she frustrates me. And she's 15, so she's a teenager, and I guess the author, she's portrayed as like the quote unquote like stereotypical teenager. But oh my God, I don't like her. She's so just rude. And like, for example, I was talking to one of my friends earlier about this book, and this is the example I gave him as well. Like, the mother could be like, oh honey, like, do you want me to make you some tea? And the daughter would be like, why? Like, do you think I'm incapable of like caring for myself? Like, I can make my own tea. Like, why would you even bother to ask me? Like, I'm self-sufficient. It's just things like that where I'm like, oh my God, like, this daughter is such a pain. So I'm curious to see what happened. In my opinion, I think something happened to her. I don't think she just went missing, but that's just my opinion. We'll see. I could be wrong. But yeah. So the book is lovely. If anybody's been considering reading it, or if my awful butchered description has sparked anybody's interest, I would recommend it. I think it's nice. So that's the book that I'm currently reading. And I think I'll definitely finish it within the next couple of days, just based on the process that I've been making. progress. I'm sorry, it's late here. Based on the progress that I've been making, I think I'll finish it within the next couple days. And also, when I was at the library, I took out. Sorry, I live next to a road, and apparently somebody thinks it's a NASCAR racetrack. Anyways, I also took out Scarlet Letter from the library. I've never read it, so I'm really curious to, though, because I know it's one of the American classics. And yeah, so once I finish the book I was just talking about, I'm going to read Scarlet Letter. So now that we're done with the reading, we can talk about what I've been watching. So I've been dabbling into different shows on Amazon Prime, and I watched 2 shows that I'll talk about. So one of them that honestly I remember when it came out, and I remember being really excited to watch it, but I somehow just never did. And it's called Z, The Beginning of Everything. And it is an Amazon Prime original. There's only 1 season as far as I know. And it came out in 2017. So this show is about Zelda, and she is married to F. Scott Fitzgerald, who is obviously a very, very famous author. So this is based on the true story. It's based on a real person. So it follows F. Scott Fitzgerald as he meets his future wife and into their marriage and how their marriage is and such. The process of him writing his first book is included in season 1. And it's just very interesting. It's interesting to see him as a character, and also the actors and the actresses and the costume. Everything is wonderful. I feel like that's what you've come to expect of an Amazon original at this point. But it's great. It's only 1 season. I think it's 10 episodes if I'm not mistaken. But it just follows their lives and what Scott was like, F. Scott, what he was like, what she was like. They were notorious in New York City for their parties and their lavish lifestyles, and supposedly that all his heroines in all of his books were based on his wife as well. So I remember seeing commercials, like previews for it when it was about to come out, and I thought, thinking that it looked really, really interesting. So I finally was able to watch it. I randomly stumbled upon it on Amazon. It was wonderful. I loved it. I really like him as an author. Great Gatsby, which is by F. Scott Fitzgerald, if you didn't know, is one of my favorite books of all time. I think the story is just so wonderful. I actually haven't seen the movie with Leo, the Leonardo DiCaprio remake, came out in the 2015, 2016, 2017, sometime in that era. Because I know there's also an older version of the movie. I think I've seen the older version, or at least parts of it. I could have sworn, I think we had to watch it in school, because we did read Great Gatsby in school. But I reread it when I was in college, and I definitely liked it much more when I was in college, because I think I was too young for it in high school. I'm so sorry. I just bumped my little camera's phone stand. But yeah, so if you enjoy F. Scott Fitzgerald, or historically based television shows, I think you would like it. And again, it's only 1 season, so it's not that big of a commitment. I hope they'll come out with another season, but I don't think they are, considering the fact that season 1 was released in 2017 and there hasn't been a second season. But yeah, and actually I'm really curious to see if maybe I can get my hands on a nonfiction book about Zelda Fitzgerald, because I think she's a very interesting character and she's a very complex woman. And yeah, I just would love to learn more. These are looking not so good. So that was one of the shows that I recently watched and I really enjoyed. A movie that I watched actually was Pride and Prejudice. So I had never watched the movie. I had tried reading the book multiple times, but it was just so heavy in a way. I don't know. It's obviously like older English for obvious reasons. But I think my favorite character is the mother. So the mother of the girls. I think she's just so funny. Oh my goodness. And really enjoyed. And it was funny. So I was watching the movie and the mother is just so familiar to me and I could not place her. Like where did I know her from? And then I realized I knew her from an episode of Law and Order. She was in an episode, Law and Order SVU, obviously. I forget. I don't know the name of the episode, but she was on one of the episodes. And I've seen that show so many times. That's why I recognized her. Really not digging this flower here, but so I watched Pride and Prejudice and I really liked it. I had to watch it with subtitles just because the British accents are very heavy and sometimes I struggle with understanding it, especially when it's being spoken really quickly. So I would recommend watching it with subtitles. I feel like I would have lost a lot of the content if I did not have the subtitles on. So no shame in having your subtitles on if it helps you understand. And sorry, I have like my laptop here so I could see what I watched on Amazon Prime. And then another show that I watched, and this show is only available in Russian and German. So if you're a German speaker or a Russian speaker, I would recommend it. But maybe, I wonder if the American Amazon Prime also has it in English. Maybe. But I'll just tell you about it because I thought it was interesting. It's called Russian Affairs, and it's actually a Russian TV show. And again, it's only one season, and it has 8 episodes. So if you decide to watch it, if you can watch it in the States, it's not that big of a commitment. Again, I do hope they come out with another season. The season 1 was released in 2019, so not all hopes are lost just yet. But also, there might already be a season 2, it just might not be on Amazon Prime. I haven't looked into it, to be completely honest. But it follows different families in Moscow, modern day Moscow, and kind of gives you a little peek into like the family structures in Russia, because I think different countries have obviously very different family structures and, you know, how things operate and such. I do have to say that this is definitely not a kids TV show. It's interesting. Again, I have Amazon Prime up right now, and it has like a little thing that says 16. So I think you have to be you should be 16 to be able to watch it. But I don't know. I would think you have to be at least like 18. There is a lot of nudity and alcohol and not drugs, but a lot of like family topics, like family discussions, and yeah, I think if I was 16 and I watched it, I don't think I would fully understand what was happening. And yeah. But if you can get your hands on it and you think you're mature enough, which hopefully you are, I would recommend it. It's really interesting. Yeah. Woohoo! But that's another show that I watched, and I'm trying to think what else. I'm forever watching Friends. Forever and ever. I also, as of today, which is really exciting, I have Disney Plus. So I signed up for Disney Plus today, and I started watching a Winnie the Pooh film. So Winnie the Pooh is actually one of my favorite, if not my favorite, Disney character. Which probably a lot of people are gonna be like, wow, that's so random. But I don't know why he's just so like sentimental to me. One of the first stuffed animals I ever had was a Winnie the Pooh toy, and I actually brought him with me from Ukraine when we moved to the States. So I have him in the States now. So yeah, I love Winnie. I was Winnie the Pooh for almost at Christmas. For Halloween the last 2 years. So I love Winnie, and I started watching one of the movies today, and it's so funny. The characters are so funny. I'll be honest, Tigger kind of annoys me. He's just so bouncy and flouncy, and I know that's kind of like his thing, but yeah. It's interesting actually. So growing up in Ukraine, we had our own Winnie the Pooh. Like a Slavic version. Winnie the Pooh, not the Disney one. And some of the characters were different. So we had obviously Winnie the Pooh, we had Piglet, Owl. Gosh, I want to say there was a rabbit. I'm sorry, it's been a hot minute since I watched it, the Russian version. We did not have Tigger. We did not have the kangaroo, so Roo and Kanga. We have Christopher Robin, I think. Oh, we have Eeyore. We definitely have Eeyore. I knew I was forgetting somebody. Oh, that's so typical. Forget about Eeyore. That's so sad. But yeah, so it was just a little different. Winnie the Pooh is not yellow in the Russian version. Well, I think it was made during the USSR times. He is brown, so he looks more like a bear. And it's in Russian, but I know they have clips of it on YouTube, and they have English subtitles as well, because my friends have looked it up before and they thought it was hilarious. So if you're interested, you could definitely find clips and like little bits and pieces of it online. Actually, when I was still in Boston, my friend and I went to an exhibit, a Winnie the Pooh exhibit. So they had, it was the Massachusetts Institute of Art. No. Oh my God. It was the Art Museum. Massachusetts Museum of Art. I don't know. I can't remember. But at the beginning of 2019, like in January, they had a display of the artwork, of the original artwork, and there was a lot of information also about, Winnie the Pooh around the world, and oh, that's the wrong color, Puka. Anyways, so they had information about the art and the author and how it like grew to be this huge thing, and it was really, really interesting. I'm really glad I got to go to it. And apparently the artwork, they have the original artwork on display, and because it's original artwork and they don't want the lights and the air and everything to damage it, they only take it out of preservation like every 10 years or something like that. So I was very, very lucky to be in the area when it was available for viewing. So I had a great time, took some pictures there, little 1,000-acre woods and stuff. So it was lovely. And they actually had a Russian USSR version of Winnie the Pooh on display, which I thought was so neat. But yeah, Winnie the Pooh was also adapted in other countries as well. So there's other versions of the cartoon all over the world, which I think is so neat. And then obviously the Disney version is probably the most famous one. But yeah, so if you have Disney Plus and you want to dabble in Winnie the Pooh, highly recommend it. I don't know if I can recommend Disney Plus because I've been a member for about an hour. So I might not be the best judge just yet, but I am really excited. I'm feeling really nostalgic lately. I don't know why. Maybe it's the whole lockdown and, you know, summer is slowly coming to an end. I know nobody wants to hear it, but it is. So, and maybe it's because also I've been coloring so much, which to me just kind of brings me back to being a little me. Sorry, I'm rambling at this point. But yeah, so I'm really, really excited to watch more Winnie. And then also I do want to watch some of the princess films. So like Cinderella and, you know, Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast and such. So very excited to take a gander at that. And also something that I did in, I think mostly 2020, maybe the end of 2019, is that I watched all of the Star Wars films. I know, shocking. I had never seen them before, but I watched all of the Star Wars. I hope I said Star Wars originally. Star Wars films. I even went to the theaters and I saw the newest one that was released. It was 2020, right? Yeah, I think it was 2020. Yeah, we'll say 2020. The newest one, that was obviously, it was a Disney one. So Disney bought Star Wars, and there was already 6 Star Wars movies, for those that are not Star Wars fans. And they made 3 more. So Star Wars is done in trilogies. So there was the original trilogy, then there was the trilogy that was filmed after the original trilogy, but takes place before. So like a pre-trilogy. I know there's a term for it, but I can't remember it. And then Disney did another trilogy that takes place after the original trilogy. So in chronological order, it goes second trilogy, first, and then third. So the reason I started telling you about this is that they also made The Mandalorian, which is on Disney Plus. So I am really looking forward to watching that. I am going to watch it with the individual who I watch the movies with, just so it could be, you know, it's kind of our thing to watch the Star Wars movies and such. So yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to Disney Plus. I also saw that they have High School Musical on there, which was like my jam back in the day. I loved High School Musical. I had like the sing-along, dance-along versions of the movies. I went to the cinema when the last one came out, because that one was in theaters. It wasn't on Disney Channel. Was it the third one? I think it was the third one, right? It's when they graduate. So really looking forward to it, but I do need to start studying at some point. I have finals and such in October and end of September, so my consumption of TV shows and books and such is going to slow down quite soon. But in the meantime, I just finished this, which is really exciting. So for the rest of the picture, I'm not 100% sure what I'll be doing. Hopefully you could see. I do want to do the fish, and I think different colors. That's why I did kind of really plain greenery. Woohoo, sorry, hitting the camera. I did really plain greenery, and I did these the same color because I do want to do a little funky colored fish. So I think I might do the rest of the greenery here. I don't know what shades I want. Maybe different shades of green as compared to like this. But yeah, thanks for hanging out and listening to me ramble. I'm really excited. I'm actually currently working on a little project video that is taking me multiple days. It's kind of like a challenge to myself. So once that's done and I'll have some editing to do, then I will post it. So that might be the next video that I post that I'm really excited about. It's like a coloring challenge to myself. Yeah, and it's going to be in more like vlogging style, just something that I'm trying out. So yeah, thanks so much for joining, and I hope everybody has a lovely week and a lovely weekend.